What is up, guys, and welcome to Space Bustic Park. You guys probably remember this place from the roller coaster that we did in a Space Busters episode, and we checked out the parkour thing, and we had that and that thing over there. So far, I've done a little bit of work on this thing over time, and it's a nicer park than it used to be, and I'll probably do a tour of it one day. But for now, we're here for another Space Busters episode, where we're going to be exploring a couple of different types of carnival rides to see if they're possible in Space Engineers. So the first carnival ride we're going to take a look at, which is rather simple, and this is only a shell of it, is the Ferris Wheel. We're going to have to figure out if it's possible. Now, it probably is, because we know how rotors work, and we know how Ferris wheels work, and it'll probably be something that's very easy to do in the game. So that's kind of a warm-up right there, seeing if the Ferris wheel is possible. And again, this is just kind of a shell, so we kind of know where to go. Then we're going to try to make the Centrifugal force ride that you see at theme parks, and it's the ride that goes around in circles and kind of pushes you to the edge of the ride. So you don't need a seatbelt or anything, it'll just kind of push you there by spinning. We're going to try and make that and see if that's possible. And then we're going to try the hardest one of all, which is going to be the log flume, to see if that's possible. Now, a log flume is basically, it's kind of like a roller coaster, except it uses water instead of tracks and stuff. Now we're trying during the stream I did a stream a couple of days on Twitch. During that stream, I was trying to figure out a couple of proof of concepts that we could do. This one actually turned out pretty well, so we're probably going to try and use this method right here. This method is another one I was trying to use gravity generators, but I forgot that gravity generators don't work on the planet, so that wasn't possible. But yeah, we're going to try and make a log flume using this particular method, and we'll see if it works. But first, let's start with that Ferris wheel. And I'm not going to show everything. I'm just going to show my thought process kind of what I'm doing, and then I'm going to do most of the building actually in like a time lapse. Okay, so I made this shell a while ago, but it's actually wrong because now the thought process behind it was we're going to have all these cars on this Ferris wheel, and the main thing about the cars is they need to remain upright. That's a big engineering piece of a Ferris wheel, is that you can't just put cars on it. Like if I just put a seat right here, number 8, I mean, if I just throw a seat down right there, that's great and all, but eventually you're going to be upside down, which is not what we want. So we need some sort of rotor system to make it stay always right side up. And I think this is the wrong rotor that we want here. We're going to want a rotor right here instead. So one kind of facing out like that, and then we'll put our car right here. And we're actually going to use small blocks for this as well. Let me stick one of these on here. Oh, I didn't know you could stick it directly on the rotor. I was about to stick it right there. We're going to try and use small blocks. There we go. Okay, so as soon as we've added a small block, we can start making our cart. And how do we want to do this? I think it'll be fine if we do something like, we'll have a main, we'll have a main carriage like this, and then it'll kind of go down. And we need 3 area for our seat, so 1, 2, 3. And then let's have 2 extra, and then that can be our carriage right here. So I'll bring this down. And this is going to be how we're doing our carriage. I think we're going to do the common thing of having 2 seats. So 1 seat on the right side and 1 seat on the left side. And that'll be good for, like, if couples want to go in there or something. I don't know. Wait, can we put a sofa? Ooh, hang on. Can we stick a couch on a small thing? No, we can't. It's only a large grid block. Dang it, man. I was going to put a nice couch there. Or we could do 2 seats. Would that look good? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. If we do this. That right there would fit 2 seats, and that might actually be better. Let me do a real quick test to see how high we need to go as well. So let's get our seat out, try and stick it on top. That works. That might be even a little bit too high. So let's go up one more. Take our seat out, stick that on top. That's perfect. Okay. So that's how we're going to want our thing at that height. Oops. Hey, there we go. That's not a bad cart right there. Okay, I like that. In fact, we're a little bit too big on one side here. So we can actually remove a lot of the space on this side. Now we're gonna make this entrance a little nicer, so don't worry too much. It'll be better. Dun, 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 dun. Can I get in there though? That's the question, I guess. Can you fit in there? No, it's very difficult to fit in there. Okay, there we go. Now it's the right height that you can stand in, and it looks a lot more like well, I mean, it looks weird, but it's fine. So if I want to, actually, you know what? I do want to match this up on the other side as well. So you can't see the rotor when you're sitting. That would make it look a little nicer, I think. Oh, I deleted a chair. It's fine. We only need 3 people sitting. All right, there we go. That's a nice little carriage. It kind of looks like a toolbox. Oh shoot! You know what they usually have is they usually have like a top so that you don't get sunburnt. So let's add like a sort of, I don't know, something to keep them not getting sunburnt. All right, there we go. A nice little Ferris wheel carriage. Now what do we need to do? Well, we probably need to set the rotor so that it actually doesn't move at all. So we're going to go to all of our rotors here. all the ones that are white, because this one right here is the one controlling the full thing. We're going to go to all of these and we're going to set them to have 0 torque, I think is what we want to do. So then if I do that, then I should be able to just make this thing go. So I guess let's try it. Let's give it a go. We're going to turn on the full thing, and I think that's this rotor right here that does that. So velocity increase. Oh, it's going a little fast. Oh no! it's spinning all over the place. Is that because we're going too fast though? That could be the case. I gotta admit though, that's a pretty funny sight. Okay, but you see the relative design? Let me sort out the kinks and then I'll show you guys the result. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Ferris wheel. It actually works. It's colorful and it's awesome. Let's hop in it, and we'll go on a revolution around and see what happens. Well, we can actually stand up. It's fine. We don't have to sit down like everyone else does. But I do ask, you know, if you're a guest at the park, please keep your arms and your feet inside the ride because there's no safety measures. You could totally very easily fall out. But yeah, the engineering feat that we did, I guess, was keeping this thing upright as it goes around, and you can see we're not flipping over. And one of the challenges that we had here was we had to make sure that this thing tilted just enough to keep us upright, but also not enough to make us wobble everywhere. So we had to mess with the torque a little bit. But it's really cool. You can see the rest of the park. You can see the roller coaster flying around if it were. Yeah. There we go, up to the top. I think it looks really cool, this thing. It looks really cool to see it go from the inside, I would say. The rotors are a little bit ugly, but there's not much I can do to hide those unless I like stuck them maybe inside the thing, but I'd have to make a bigger Ferris wheel and like a London Eye kind of Ferris wheel. That'd be kind of cool. All right, we're almost done with our revolution. Let's go toward the bottom. And we went down, down, down to the Space Bustic Park that was on fire. Oh, that looks cool. You can see them all like over there. Okay, here we go. There's the only stop switch is over there. So if you're riding it, technically speaking, you wouldn't be able to really stop it unless you had somebody actually there to stop it for you. So, yeah. I'm very proud of this. We're going to jump the last bit and dismount. Hey, there we go. And let's stop it as well. All the way over here, we have our little control booth, which we'll probably spruce up off camera or something. And eventually I'll do like a tour video of the whole park. And that's when I'd have probably the Museum of Natural Bustery complete. Okay, this one's done. Now it's time to see, and it's possible as well. It's completely possible to make a Ferris wheel in Space Engineers. So that's something really cool. Now let's see if we can make the centrifugal force machine, the one that keeps you on the edge kind of as you're spinning. Let's see if that's possible in Space Engineers. Now we want this thing to go ultra fast because it's a ride. So we're gonna double these. Well, we'll quadruple them. And I want the ride to be kind of down here. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of spill this over that way, and that'll be the ride. It'll come down like that on all sides. So imagine like a pottery wheel. It's spinning. You just bzz, cut it down like that. We're going to try and make that. Okay, so we'll have a piece right there, and this will come down like that. So that's going to be our main spinner. And I think that's all the rotors we're going to need. It's just a central bit of rotors that's going to do all the spinning. So let's start, well, we'll do like this. And just so we avoid claying, we got to come kind of far out like that. There we go. So we can't let this bit touch this bit, otherwise that's what's going to cause some of that bad clang. There we go. That's not that bad, does it? It's not terrible. Okay, now we need to bring the sides up a little bit. Oh shoot, I didn't think about this. Okay, here we go. We've got our machine that we've built. It's got like a way in and everything, but it's kind of hard to get it to land right there. So I imagine whoever's operating this thing would need some really good skill to get the exit to land right there, or some sort of computer thing. But we're going to turn it on and go inside, and we'll see if it does the centrifugal thing and push us to the outside. So let's turn it on. It spins up kind of slowly, which is realistic. Oh shoot, there's two exits. Okay, don't want to be near one of those. All right, so we're just going to we can try and jump. Wait, did it? I feel like it might be pushing me to the outside. When I jump, I think it might be. Let's let it gain some more speed. Wait, hang on. Let me make sure it's getting the max speed. I'm going to hop out and make sure. Okay, we managed to get the thing going as fast as possible. And look at this. It's pushing me toward the outside. I'm not pressing anything. Let me go to it. Well, let me go away from that. But I'll go to the center. Look, I'm not doing anything. Oh my god, I didn't think this would actually work. But it actually seems like it is. Especially when I come off this right here, since I'm off the ground. Oh my god! And if you jump at all, like, it pushes you immediately to the outside. Oh, it pushed me out! Oh my god, that's awesome. This is something I was really expecting not to work. For some reason, I didn't think space engineers had this. I don't even know, like, why is it working? I don't even know why it's working, because everything I've done in Space Engineers has led me to believe that this would not work. Yet here it is. Working. Exactly as you would think it would. Of course, I probably should be being pushed more forcefully, but when you jump, you definitely get pushed super... Look, it just pushed me up to here. Oh my god, that's incredible. That's incredible. Oh, that's awesome. Wait, okay, new game. See if you can fly yourself in through one of those holes. Okay, time it right. And now. Oh, we almost made it. Okay, so this one is totally possible. Wow, man. Again, I had no idea. Okay, there we go. Our centrifugal force machine, or ride, I guess, is possible. We're probably going to end up moving it a little closer to the actual park, but we'll keep it there for now. Let's move to the log flume. The log flume's another one that I'm not quite sure how it's going to work very well. We have our proof of concept here, and this totally works, by the way. If I go in here and turn on my... Do I not have all the rotors grouped? Okay. If I turn all the rotors here to go reverse velocity here... Well, I guess reverse is forward. But you see, the proof of concept, it's pushing the log flume cart kind of forward. Just like water would if you were floating in water that had a current. So that's the whole idea there. So let's start working on the log flume. This is going to be interesting. Okay, so I think we're going to start right here with our station platform is what we're going to call it. We're going to... And you know what I think we might do? I think we might place all the rotors... Because this thing's going to require a lot of rotors. Like, a rotor pretty much for every piece of track. Considering how many rotors this needs right here to make this one work. So we're going to need lots of rotors for this. So the log flume we're going to do, I think we're just going to cruise a little bit. Using those as our main source. Then, how do we want to do this? We want to make a turn probably. And I don't know how that's going to work very well with our rotor design. Unless we had... I guess unless we had... Oh yeah, that could work. Hang on. Yeah, there's a way this could work. Alrighty, it's time for another proof of concept. We've got some rotors set up, and then we've got an attempted turn, which will be interesting. If it gets to there, that means our proof of concept is successful, because that means it started the turn, and then we'll be able to complete the turn. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to turn on all these rotors. Pretty much all of them that are just called rotor. Any of the rotor turn ones we don't want to turn on. In fact, you guys right here should rotor lock, because I don't want to accidentally turn you guys on, and I know I will by accident. Okay. So I want you guys to get a velocity of positive. Is that the good direction? Nope, that's the bad direction. Okay. Rotors. Give you guys a velocity of negative. There we go. We got a negative velocity. Let's watch our little guy go forward and see if we can get in it. And in fact, I bet we can make this go a little faster and it'll work better. If not, that'll be kind of annoying that it's so slow. But rotors, give it a negative velocity. Double it up. Yeah, that's not too bad. Imagine you're on the ocean, or you're on a log flume and kind of going slowly. This is where things are going to be interesting because we have those other rotors right there. I'll go in third person so we can kind of see what's going on. I guess we have the benefit of this thing being long. Oh, but it's a little higher, isn't it? Oh, that's going to be... Ooh, it's going to be interesting. Oh, it's having a little trouble there, probably because it's a little higher. But it eventually catches. Okay. And what does it do with it? It keeps going. Oh, and we fall down. Okay. That's a bit of a problem. Okay, I've lowered everything a little bit. We're going to go again and see if our log flume manages to get over the little bits. I've also added that little blocker right there to kind of turn it if we get too close to that. But let's hope it doesn't come to that. I think it'll be fine. I think the problem was that we were going like up like half a block. I mean, I could also always make this thing a little longer, which would possibly help us a little bit. Oh, we're fine for now. And this is where we had a problem last time. Oh, we're fine again. Why are you going backwards? Oh, I know where you're going backwards. Oops. My bad. Okay, we're going over backwards this time. It's fine, don't worry about it. Oh shoot, they're not on now. What the heck? There we go. Okay, now, are you making the turn? Kind of. It's having a little bit of trouble with the turning part, and it's not really actually turning, is it? Okay, I'm scrapping that idea. I don't think it's going to work. We're going to try something new. We're going to try using hover wheels, or what I call hover wheels, I guess. I don't know. Are they called hover wheels? We're going to try using those to make this thing work. So let's give it a go. Okay, so first we're going to have a track kind of like that. So let's extend this a little bit. And then we're going to try and make these hover wheels work out somehow. I don't know. I've never used them before, but some people have suggested that it might work. So we're going to take that thing right there, and we're going to try and make it float. Float more or less. Okay, so let's copy this thing, and let's add it to this little project right here. And in fact, I think for starters, let's put it right there. For starters, we're going to make this a little larger, just so we have a little more room to mess around while we're doing this. Okay, so this right here is our thing. Oh, this isn't bad. Okay, so I've used these wheels and I've given them 0 friction. So now it kind of hovers a little bit. Well, it doesn't really hover, but it kind of just like, it's like a sled kind of. Like it's on ice. So I could use this. I can give that thruster like an override. And if I make I imagine if I make it look nice, it can look like kind of like a log. And then I just let it kind of go down the area. I let it kind of float around. So I'd probably need an area of 2x2 is too small, but probably 3x3. So let's grab some blocks. Like this area right here, that would be the track. And then I don't know how we're gonna go up, so that's gonna be one of the big hurdles that we're gonna have to cross somehow. But if I give that a thruster override, it'll go through the track that I make. So let's try and make ourselves a nice little track. We'll do, we'll go straight for a little bit. We'll start out like that, and then we'll do our turn. Oops. There we go. And then we'll do our turn as kind of close to... Well, you know what? Should we go down immediately? We can go down and then turn around. That wouldn't be that bad. Although it might function less like a log flume and more like a bobsled or something. Okay, so we got a little drop already. So you start off over there, you got a little drop, and then you get to the rise. So it kind of brings you up a little bit. And we'll probably do 2 rises, I think, would be a good idea. So we'll start right here. Then from here, we'll kind of rise a little bit. So kind of like, here, let's start this. So we'll do this one first. So it starts off kind of slow, kind of a simple rise. And then it kind of gets a little steeper with this block right here. Or is that too steep of a rise? That might be too steep. That's a 45-degree angle. I don't know. I think that might be too steep for this. So we're just gonna keep it kind of small. All right, here we go. I've made the ride. I don't know how it's gonna handle going up. That's the one problem that I'm foreseeing here. Is that the up might be too steep for it. So we have to give it a nice, decent. So first we're gonna go around. Actually, you know what? It'll probably be fine. I wanted to move these in a little bit more. And I don't know. You know what? Let's redesign this real quick. Alright, I think we're finally ready to try out our log flume. We've got, basically it's just a normal kind of car thing. But it's got these hover wheels, and it's also got these thrusters right here that are kind of supposed to be a little bit hidden. In fact, we can hide them probably even better if we do something like this. Yeah, there we go. See, now they're not as visible. So we've got this log flume thing, and what we're going to do is we're going to set an override on these thrusters here to make them go a decent speed forward. Not that fast. So pretty much it's just going to be kind of hovering forward, hopefully. It's going to take this drop right here. Then hopefully it'll see if it can get up here. I don't know if it'll be able to. But if it can make it up this, then it can make it up pretty much anything. It'll go around the track, and we'll see how that works. So we're going to try and have to find a good number for our, or a good amount for our thrusters. So we're going to grab our thrusters and give them a little bit of override. Not that much. And we'll see. Like, that's not that bad. Whee! Well, it's having a little trouble on the turn, but it's not that bad. Can it go up the ramp, though, is the question. No, it's going to have a little bit of trouble on the ramp, it looks like. Doesn't look like it's going to be able to make it up that. So we need some sort of mechanism. I mean, we could manually do it. We could give it a thrust override just to get up. And cut the override back as it gets to the top. I don't know, man. I don't know about this. I mean, it'll keep going forward, and we'll see what happens on the drop. Let's go on the main drop. Whee! Okay, we almost flipped, so that would have been bad. And then we hit this. Oh, man. So this is an easy fix, though. We just break this, and we'll add small blocks. And then that, I mean, it's going to have a lot of trouble there, though, is the problem. Unless we find, like, a perfect... Here, let's find a perfect speed that you can go up. If you're at 7... Okay, 10. You can only get up at something that's, like, above 15, it seems like. Anything above 15 will work. What if we keep it at 15? What will happen? Okay, so it's not like in this turn right here. It's gonna... Oh, God. Oh, man, this is really bad. Oh, Lord. So it's not like in this at all, pretty much. That's what I'm getting. I'm trying to think of ways that I could get this thing to go up this ramp, but I'm not sure that there are any. I was thinking maybe I could go here and make like a chain lift, but I don't know if I could get that to work. Like an actual chain lift going here. I need something that would be able to lift it up here, and the only things I could think of are maybe... I don't know, maybe a rotor... It'd be tough to do with it within this space, though. That's the problem. A rotor with wheels, and rotors all the way up with wheels that are like kind of pushing it along might work. But it would also be a disaster if it failed. The only easy way I think I could see this is to manually increase the thrust override when you go up a hill. How could you do that? Maybe if there was a sensor? And then you have to decrease it immediately when you get to the top so you don't fly off. Okay, after thinking about this for a long time, I think I have my answer for if a log flume is possible. Just because, I mean, if we look at it right now, what we have, we're pretty much stretching the definition of a log flume when we're trying to do things like this, like add wheels that are floating on the ground, or having rotors push everything. So I think we have our answer there for if a log flume is possible, and that's going to be no. Space Engineers just doesn't have the mechanics for any sort of like river flowing mechanism that would be required in a sort of log flume. And then as far as the log flume like ride that we're sort of trying to build, something that imitates a log flume goes, it's still, I have trouble saying it's possible just because of these slopes. I mean, you can kind of get away with using thruster overrides to make it go as if it were being pushed by a current. But then when you get to the slopes, it becomes extremely difficult because a log flume has these sort of wheels that push it up. So the thing kind of gets to it, and then the friction of the log that you're in goes against these kind of rubber wheels that are turning, and it pulls you all the way to the top, and then you go continue where the current is of the river. But you know, in order to do this, we're using frictionless wheels, so we can't obviously have anything that has friction up the top unless we manually disable it. And then, of course, the other way to do going up would be to manually increase the thrust override, which again is manual. You don't want to have anything manual while you're doing a ride. So I think it's not possible. The other option as well here that I do want to bring up is an idea that I thought of, and that's trying to do a chain lift from point A to point B, such that you have a chain that's continuously flowing like this, and then when the ride gets there, something catches the chain and brings it up. But I don't think that's within my abilities to build. I've seen someone do something similar with chains, but never a continuous chain with something catching it, kind of like an aircraft carrier, or an aircraft on an aircraft carrier when it's landing. So I'm going to have to say log flume is not possible, just for lots of reasons. It's for the reason that it can't float on water, because Space Engineers doesn't have water, and it can't go up on any sort of friction wheel, because we're using frictionless wheels to try and make it work. But then let's recap against these. Was this possible? Was the centrifugal acceleration machine possible? Yes, it was. So when we were standing in the middle, if you remember, let's actually get it full speed and I'll show you. So when we were standing in the middle of this machine, we did notice that we were being pushed towards the outer edge. In fact, even over it if we're bouncing. So that is certainly possible. And again, it's something that I never thought would be possible in Space Engineers for some reason. I just didn't think Space Engineers had it in it. But see, like, we're standing still now, we're being pushed towards the outer side, which is exactly what that ride does at the theme park. It pushes you towards the outside because that's how centrifugal acceleration works. So that is certainly possible, and also very dizzying. And then, of course, the cool Ferris wheel is also possible. We managed to make a Ferris wheel that not only goes around, but also keeps the here, I'll go to the top one. Keeps these things from tipping over as it does so. And in fact, this is actually tipping a little more than I want it, so we probably have to tweak things, but you can clearly see that they're not tipping over. The rotors are, in fact, keeping them in line, which is exactly what a Ferris wheel would do. So I think this one is also possible. Two possibles and an impossible. I think that's not a bad episode of Space Busters. So I think that's a good place to end it. And we get a nice overview of Space Bustic Park. It's coming along pretty nicely. Alright, so if you guys liked that episode, please hit the like button. Put any comments and suggestions, as well as anything you found or that you thought we might be able to do for the log flume, maybe. You guys might have ideas for that. Or any future Space Buster episode you want us to cover, or you want me to cover. Put those down in the comments below. And I think I'll see you guys in the next episode of Space Busters.